Tamin, how were you guys able to go from 14 down in the second half, and it really looked like you were struggling on both ends of the floor to be in here now with an undefeated home season?
I would say just digging deep at halftime, realizing what we were playing for, and the guys that we play for every day, and obviously the seniors being senior night, we wanted to go out there and make a difference. And obviously the first half wasn't great for us, but we always bounce back. That's what this team does. We never fight, or we never quit. We always fight, and that's what we did coming out of that first half. Yeah.
What defensive adjustments did you make? Because after 3 halves of playing those guys, they seemed to have your number.
They move really well off the ball, a lot of cutting. So our main focus was coming together, talking a lot more on defense, being able to communicate switches, limit them from getting easy buckets at the rim. They got a lot in the first half, and obviously kick-out threes was big for them. So just coming together, talking a lot more, being more physical on the perimeter and causing more turnovers.
Kurt, what was going through your mind when you're down 14? Yeah.
Man, just get stops, and TJ told me be aggressive. Like out of every media timeout, just keep being aggressive. So I was kind of looking to score, get up good shots, and just continue to play defense like we did. We turned them over 17 times, and I don't think they turn it over that much usually. So I think that helped as well.
For both of you guys had an 11-0 run at one point in the second half that seemed to really spark you guys. Tamin, sorry for my voice, a couple threes, and Kurt, you had an and one, I think, there too. How much did that spark you guys, and how much of it was just part of the whole aura of Hilton and the way it was just going nuts?
It started on the defensive side because after the game, the first thing we talked about was how we had 8 stops in a row. The offense sort of takes care of itself. When you lock down on defense, you don't really think as much on the offensive side. It just kind of flows better. So when we were able to just get stops back to back to back to back, we just played with a better flow and a lot of confidence, and we were able to make big plays on the offensive side.
Yeah, basically what Tamin said. I think it was big, when you go on runs like that, especially at home, because now the crowd gets into it. We really didn't have a lot of big time or moments where it looked like we could, get back in the game until that moment. So it was huge. I know Tamin hit the 3 to tie it, and we forced him to call a couple timeouts, which, is always good because now the crowd into it. We got the momentum coming back into it, so it was fun.
And Tamin, you closed on a 7-0 run, and it must have felt like it was 64-63 for about 15 minutes. But what was that? What was the tension like during that? Even though it was a 7-0 run, you're leading by 1 point for a lot of time there.
Every dead ball, I was just sort of getting the guys together. We would huddle and just talking about just getting stops. Because at the end of the day, if the score stayed like that, we would win the game. So that's what Coach JR told us at the timeout, and then we were just relaying that on the court every huddle we got, and just realizing that it's going to come down to getting stops.
Kurt, what's tonight do for you guys going forward? I'm specifically talking about Saturday at K-State, but even beyond that.
I think it continues to build our confidence. That was a tough win, like probably one of the toughest, if not the toughest win I think we had all year. So after the game, I don't know how we pulled that one off, but it was fun, man. I think it just gives us a lot of confidence. That was fun, to be a part of, especially that we won. So I just think it continues to build our confidence going into K-State.
This could be for either, but how important and how much pride do you take in an undefeated home season?
I think we take a lot of pride in that. Before the season, we had like a players-only type of thing, outside our apartments, and we all had like goals for the season. And a lot of people, probably 75% of people had go undefeated at Hilton. So it was something that, we kind of wanted to do before the season even started, and it's just good that we was able to make that come true. And, it means a lot, especially, I know, to the fans as well, going out there and playing for them.
Tamin,
for you as an Ames kid, how special is that to do it? First team since 2001.
Yeah, I was not alive last time it happened, so it feels good. It's a great feeling. Obviously, I've heard a lot about that 2001 team, and they're such a great team, and have a lot of history behind that. So just being up there with them, having an undefeated season at home, just means a lot.
Tamin, you guys would need some help, but what are your thoughts about going into the last day of the season with a chance to win a Big 12 title?
Like Kurt said earlier, before the season we had players-only meeting, and that was also one of our goals was to win the Big 12. And just to have a fighting shot at that going into the last game of the regular season is huge, and we take a lot of pride in that. Obviously, we don't focus on it too much. It's all about one game at a time, but it's the last game of the season. We're going to go out there and win.
Curtis, you spoke a little bit earlier about how this was a tough win. You don't really know how you guys were able to pull it out. Most of your wins this year, you guys haven't had to come back just because that's how the game flow has gone. Do you feel like it's maybe a good thing for your guys' group to have to fight back in a game like this right now at this point in the season, heading into the final game and obviously the postseason after that?
Yeah, I think it's really big, especially, versus a team like BYU that is offensively like a team you probably don't want to see because they're just really good on offense. They shoot the ball really well. We held them to 25 points in the second, which is probably the reason we won the game. So it's really big, it builds our confidence because games ain't always going to go, your way. I guess in the first half it didn't go our way, but just being able to come together as a group in the second half is something that I think we can do in the future if that happens again.
For Kurt, you were one of those honored before the game. What was that like? And I think you've got one more season you can take. Where's your mind kind of at like on that right now?
Yeah, before the game, it was cool to be honored. Like, I think it's just crazy that, this is my 4th year at college. Like, it seemed like a long time ago that I was at, Indian Hills as a freshman, but it go fast as well. And it was really cool to be a part of that, get the jersey and stuff like that. And as far as next year, I say I plan to be back.